107. Lovely.
Yes, what is good, YouTube? Hope you are all doing very, very well, and welcome to another video then. So today I'm going to take you through a little bit of a full day of eating on a rest day, being into my off-season gaining phase. So yeah, been a good morning so far. Got my morning activity in, morning sups have gone in, and now just getting on to meal one. Hydrated, got a coffee on the go. Always start the day with a black coffee, guys. It gets me ready and in the zone. I've done my own in-person check-in with myself today, and pictures are looking pretty damn good. Up to 107 kilos on the scale this morning, which for being 2 weeks into this, or 1 week into this push-up phase properly now, I'm pretty damn happy with that. You know, I've never been this weight in this sort of body composition. I'll put some pictures up on the screen as well so you guys can sort of see what I'm looking like. But very, very happy with, you know, the actual shape and stuff that is coming through. So the key here, guys, is for me to stay insulin sensitive, stay lean and responsive to what I'm doing so I can gain the most amount of muscle tissue possible and keep health markers and everything like that in a good spot. A healthy body is a responsive body when it comes to building muscle. But meal one is about to go down. So I've got the Fry Light spray. I'm going to spray the pan up. We've got eggs and sourdough in the morning. Always have this as my first meal of the day. Eggs and sourdough for me, guys, is just, it's just the one. I couldn't think of a different meal one to have. Like, I used to be a massive oats guy in the morning. But as you'll now see, there is still an oat meal in there. And that's every single day without fail. But I actually save it for later on in the day now. I prefer a nice savoury sort of like egg and sourdough meal. So this one is 3 eggs, and then I'll do 280 ml of egg whites. And then we have got 150 grams of sourdough. And then I'll do a little bit of HP sauce factored into my calories and macros as well, because guys, I can't be doing the ketchup with the eggs. It's not for me. And I absolutely love HP brown sauce. For me, it just makes the meal absolutely elite. So I get the eggs in, get some egg whites on the go in there as well. I don't do any magic tricks when I'm cooking this, guys. You know, there's not like a crazy method that I use to make it, you know, unbelievably tasty or whatever. It's just simple. I just put the Fry Light spray in, 3 eggs, get the egg whites, pour that on top, let it sort of cook up a little bit, break it up, flip them over, sourdough, bang, get it in. So the thing is as well, guys, you know, one of the things that I feel a lot of people don't do when it comes to actually making a meal plan that they enjoy is they make their food actually look like shit when they serve it up. So one of the things I do focus on when I'm actually presenting the meal is actually make it look appetizing, especially as you get deeper into a phase and your appetite dies off in a gaining phase, right? You've got to make sure that you're protecting the appetite as much as possible. And the digestion of a meal, believe it or not, it actually starts from the moment that you look at that meal. So if you're looking at a meal and it is it's appealing, it looks nice, your digestive system is starting to already work because it's entertaining the idea of what it's just about to consume. So that is a good tier tip that you can use when it comes to getting deeper into your gaining phases. But right now, that isn't me, because I'm absolutely ravenous every single day. Right now, the body is firing. I look forward to every single meal, almost a little bit clock watching still as well. But salt as well, always weigh this out in the morning. So for the moment, I am doing 10 grams of pink salt. I'll do that on the Digi scales, the engineered muscle ones. I'll make sure that I split that evenly across my meals for the day. I don't like to have any guesswork, guys. I like everything to be very consistent so that I know each day with what I see on that scale is a true representation of where I'm moving forward. Water as well, keep that in at 5 litres. Plus the water that goes through for the cream of rice meal and the oats meal, which you'll see later as well. But yeah, 10 grams of salt going down. So I'm going to drink the rest of this coffee, get this meal on the go, and I will show you the end product. Yes, people, there we have the finished product. for meal one, looking lovely. This is actually what I have every training day and rest day. So every single morning at the minute, this is what goes in. I also put a little bit of this on as well, guys. The Mrs. Dash lemon pepper seasoning. I've got a few different flavors of these, but these are sodium free. So they're not going to add to your salt intake and stuff like that. So yeah, these are very good. They're like £8 per one. They are pricey. But guys, if you want to be accurate with your stuff, go get at these. Okay guys, meal number one is done. Beautiful stuff. I love that every single morning. The next thing that I now do as part of my routine, and this fits the full day of eating very, very well, is I actually get my rice and my meats and stuff prepared for the day. The thing is, guys, I get very, very busy in a day. You know, I've got a lot of guys to look after on the coaching team, social media bits and pieces to do, lots of things that come with being a very busy coach, right? So if I don't get ahead of the day, if I'm not disciplined and routined and have my meals ready to go, it's going to lead to unnecessary stress. And for those that are less in control of the stress and how they handle it, it could lead to people actually falling off the plan. So this is something that I actually put into every single one of my clients' routines, is I let them communicate with me before we actually get started. What does their daily lifestyle look like? You know, is it going to be easy to prepare meals for this? What hours are they working? You know, all of these kind of important things that are very crucial to know to how to map someone's day out. Because if you just go into things blind, if you just wake up each day and go off the whim, it's like as soon as something happens that's a little bit different to your normal day, you're not prepared for it. So preparation is key. Fail to prepare, prepare to fail, guys. This isn't just for people that are competitors or going into a photo shoot. This is just for people who want to get in shape and have control over their habits and their life. So rice and chicken are the two bits that I have pre-prepared, because I've got 2 chicken and rice meals today. And the air fryer, the rice cooker, it's easy to do, guys. I prep it all up. It's there and ready to go when I need those meals to go in as the work day gets busier and busier. So gonna get this all prepared now. I'll also talk you through today a little bit of a life update and things in terms of where I'm at as well. I'll show you through a little maybe some snippets of some check-ins and things like that. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff to come today, guys, for sure. I think my mic is actually turned off, so if you can't hear too well, I do apologise, but yeah, so I'm gonna get this rice and stuff weighed out. I do always hate it when I go over, guys, and this is the thing. You've got to be meticulous in your approach if you care about those 1 to 2% of extra progress. Right, now I've corrected the grams of the rice. You should be good to go. So I always sieve my rice first, guys. You know, it just cooks way nicer. It's a much better texture. So I'll just give it a rinse and wash all the starch off of it. And then what I'll do is I'll dump that in the old rice cooker. And then the key to it is, guys, to make the best rice in the rice cooker, in my opinion, right, is you're going to go 1 part cream of rice to 3 times the amount of water. Did I just say cream rice? 1 part the amount of rice to 3 part water. So what I'll do, I've got 150 grams of raw weight rice, which is to be split over my 2 meals today. So 75 grams of raw weight per meal. I'm going to do 450 mil of water in the rice cooker. So get 450 in there. Bang that in. Oh yes. And then one of the key things I will also do as well is I do add some turmeric to my rice, and it gives it a nice mellow bit of flavour. Also, guys, turmeric is a good anti-inflammatory. So it can also help, you know, with the recovery from training, you know, inflammation markers. It's good for your overall health. So there's actually a bit of a health benefit to it. And also, guys, it makes the rice go orange. Orange rice, eh? Pretty cool. Better than white rice. Nah, honestly, guys, it does taste that little bit better, I find as well. And at the end of the day, any little health benefits that you can create within your meals, it's only going to be a benefit, right? It's only going to help you further down the line. And this is the thing as well, like, it's not just about being healthy on the outside and looking good, right? It's about being healthy on the inside as well. You know, taking care of your inflammation, taking care of your heart, your liver, your kidneys, making sure that you are looking after your body. And this all falls into that respect of a healthy body being a responsive body as well. So next thing we do, loading up the 2 air fryer compartments now. So these meals, the meat that goes with these meals is the chicken. So there's going to be 200 grams of raw weight chicken breast for each of the meal. 200 grams goes in here, 200 grams goes in the other one as well. And then I'll show you what seasonings I use as well. Yes. So I've cut up the chicken. Guys, I always use scissors to just scissor cut my chicken up. Pick the breasts up, make sure you got 400 grams. I'll split that across these 2 barrels here. Bang, in they go. All cut up into nice bite-sized bits. And then what I'll do, I'll get my cooking spray again. And I'll just spray those over, just so they go a little bit crispier, you know. And then the best seasoning of all is the banging chicken Schwartz air fry. Now guys, this isn't sodium free. However, this is a seasoning that I keep consistent year round. So because it's consistent, I don't need to worry about it, you know. So it just goes in, banging chicken seasoning, lovely stuff. Yes, Sam lad, how are we doing, brother? Welcome to another check-in. And bro, I just want to say your body is absolutely cranking. I could not be any happier, mate, with your level of adherence so early on into this process and how your body is responding. You bang on with the tracking sheets. You bang on with the information you're providing me. And looking at these pictures every single week, you are changing, mate. Midsection is getting smaller. More definition is coming through. And mate, it sounds like you're really developing some proper solid habits here. And like I say to all of you guys, right, it is a case of not just changing your physique. It's what comes as a byproduct of that. Your habits, your daily routines, all of those things that bleed into other areas of your life, therefore enabling you to be better in every single way possible. I look at it from this perspective here, Sam, right? There is no need to change something that isn't broken. We're not going to try and fix something here, right? The body is cranking. The body is moving in the right direction. So there is no need this week. And this is for like the 4th week in a row now, where we don't need to change the food. We don't need to change the output. We don't need to change the cardio. Everything is in a very, very solid spot. So mate, very, very well done. We keep rinsing and repeating, keeping that mindset strong, keeping that discipline high. And mate, you are off to an absolute flyer. Yes, guys. So meal 2 is about to be made. So you just saw in that previous clip, just checking in the Thursday check-in team. The team are off to an absolute flyer, let me tell you that. And I'm very excited to get back to the rest of the boys as the day unfolds. But it's time for another meal. So guys, meal 2 is about to go down. And to be honest, guys, you know, for me, you'll see this in the future videos as well. My training day food versus rest day food today is pretty much very similar, just in different quantities. The reason that I eat less on a rest day is because the calorie demand for the performance isn't there. Also, guys, you need to take it into consideration. When you're trying to push your body weight up, you are typically consuming more food than what your body needs, which inevitably is going to be more stress on your digestive system. So if you were to pummel the digestive system every single day consistently, how can you expect your digestive tract to actually work optimally? And the thing is, guys, you can only grow from what you can physically digest. So it makes sense to actually go for a lower amount of food, give the body a bit of a break, keep insulin sensitivity in a good spot, having a slightly lower food on your rest days to what you do on your training days. And it's typically this setup that I have with most of the team that I work with as well. And it works absolutely splendidly, especially when you get deeper into a gaining phase and your appetite almost becomes non-existent. This helps keep things pushing along. But second meal of the day is going to be cream of rice. So the combination I'm going for at the minute is the salted caramel, trained by JP. And then we have got the carrot cake perform whey iso, which is a nice little mixture. So at the moment, guys, this is just a 75 gram serving of cream of rice, which, to be honest, it's pretty much like baby portions for me, I can't lie. So 75 grams of cream of rice, and then we've got 50 grams of whey drip that goes on the top, and then we've got 1 medium banana, 100 grams, and then 10 grams of nut butter with some sweet ground cinnamon. So I'm very particular with how I make my cream of rice. For me, texture and volume at the moment, considering I'm so hungry, are two of the main things that I'm trying to keep my laser focus on. So what I'll do is I'll always get the dry weight cream of rice in. There we go, 75 grams. And then what I'll do, guys, I'll see salt all weighed out from the morning routine. I'm going to put in my 1.5 grams. So it works out, guys, that my 1.5 grams split across my 6 meals across a day gives me my total salt intake. Just keeps it nice and consistent. Keeps that fluid balance on point. That's what we want. Boom. There we go. Now, for me, at the moment, this will change as appetite goes down, inevitably as this off-season ramps up. But right now, guys, I like to feel somewhat a bit more satiated with the food that I'm on. And digestion is in a good spot. So I'll actually do 1 part cream of rice to 5 water. So 75, I think it's 375 with this meal. Pretty much got my numbers like near enough dialed in now. But yeah, I'll do 375 water in here. And then the key to it is, which you've probably seen if you've been watching this channel since it started, you have probably seen that I don't like to mix this with a spoon. I like to make sure that I am whisking this with a whisk. The whisk is the secret ingredient, guys, to actually making nice, smooth, creamy cream of rice. Not clump of rice, cream of rice. That's what we want. Right, so what I'll do, I'll mix that all together, whisk it all up till it's nice and blended together. I'm going to put this in for a microwave now for 1 minute. Take it out, stir it, and then in 30-second intervals, out and whisk each time until it becomes a nice, smooth, creamy texture. And then whilst that is going around, I'll get the whey, so 50 grams, and I'll put that in like a nice little small like mixing bowl for the paste that will go on top, right? So I'll get that weighed out, 50 grams goes in the bowl. Then I always find to make the nicest whey drip or whey paste, whatever you want to call it, right? Firstly, you can't use cheap, horrible whey because it's just never going to work. You've got to use a nice brand of whey. And all of the flavors, even from brand to brand, are slightly different in the ratios you want to use. Some of them will go a little bit too watery, some will go a little bit too thick. Now, what I always suggest you start at is doing 1-to-1 ratio. So 50 grams of whey, dry weight goes in here, and then I'll do 50 ml of water, just cold water from the tap. Make sure it's weighed out, guys, because it just makes it so much like more predictable, and you're not going to waste whey if you make it wrong and your food focus is high, and then you're like, oh, I'm not going to eat that because it's wrong, I want to make it again. So yeah, and I'll mix that together with a spoon until it becomes a nice, smooth, pasty texture. Right, people, so there we have it. The paste is all mixed together. I'm not sure if you can see that right there, but nice, creamy texture. Boom. There we have it. The cream of rice is done. Now, guys, this is absolutely nuclear. So, in my opinion, I like to let it sit for like a couple of minutes. The reason for that is just because I find if I put the whey on too soon while it's still really, really hot, the texture and everything just goes a bit off. So I'll let that sit for 2 minutes, get the banana ready, whey drip goes on top, banana gets cut up on top, nut butter on top, sweet ground cinnamon, boom. I'll show you the finished product. And there we have the finished product. Beautiful. Right, so I'm going to sit down, I'm going to enjoy this lovely meal now, put some YouTube on for 10 minutes. It also gives me a little bit of a mental break from work and check-ins and things of that nature. And then in between every single meal, guys, I will always take a 10-minute walk. And this just allows digestion to stay in a good spot. It keeps you very much more insulin sensitive throughout the day as well. And it allows me to get my steps in with ease. On top of the morning activity I did this morning, getting that boxed off before anything happens throughout the day, I know that I'm not going to be chasing my tail trying to get steps in at the end of the day. Routine is everything, guys, right? Routine is everything. And again, spacing your meals out, eating at the same times every single day. This allows things to be expected and easily consistent. No guesswork involved. Yes then, peeps, meal number 3 is about to go down. Another very productive little work block there. Done and dusted. Few check-ins. The guys are absolutely crushing it. Loving it. A good day. It's always a good day, guys. So basically the trajectory of today has changed a little bit in terms of the meals. So there has been a little bit of a food increase to my rest day and training day food ahead of the shots and things this morning. So it does mean that I'm going to have to make a few adaptations, because I've obviously prepared the rice in the rice cooker as per what it would normally be today. So the overall calories and macros obviously are going to be slightly different, but the food sources are going to be the same, but just a little bit of extra of this, a little bit of extra of that to make up the numbers. But this will still give you the perfect idea of what I consume on a day-to-day. The only thing that is going to be different today is because I don't actually have any honey at the moment, and a little bit of honey has been added to my plan. So I'm going to add in a couple of Marmite rice cakes to this next meal. So we're going to have 2 of these with this meal and 1 of them with the next meal, and then some extra oats on the last meal to make up the numbers. So very excited for this meal. So this is basically your chicken, rice, pineapple. Standard meal for me. I typically have this meal, I typically enjoy this meal probably more than I enjoy most of my meals, to be honest. It's probably up there with my top 2 meals. So rice is already prepared for these two rice meals. So all I'm simply going to do, guys, is I'm going to take my rice out the rice cooker, which is already prepared, and I'm going to put a line down the middle of that. So I know that approximately I've got 2 equal meals in terms of the amounts. So it's about 75 grams of raw weight rice here, which is due to go up to 100. So this is going in. Gonna bash that in there. And then we have got some green beans, which I've just done in the air fryer, which is gonna be absolutely banging, as always. Guys, I don't know about you, but I really love putting my green beans and stuff in the air fryer. They just give it like a nice, like crispy, almost like slightly burnt taste. I don't know if it's just me, guys. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I absolutely love it. I cannot lie. So these are for the next 2 meals worth in here. I'm just literally gonna, put roughly half of those in here. Guys, in a gaining phase, things like green beans, extra little veggies that I add to my meals. If I'm being completely honest, I don't bother weighing it. If I'm in a prep or something like that, then yeah, I will. But in a phase like this, it's just not really needed. I use green beans and veggies. You'll see it in my future meals later today. Things like mushrooms, peppers, just to bulk the meals out a little bit more. And again, it's giving you those extra micronutrients that you wouldn't normally get from your other foods as well. It's also good for you guys. Greens are good for you, right? Adding these things in is only going to help. So next bit that goes on before I put the chicken on is pineapple. So I've got 100 grams of pineapple with this meal. Now, I've been asked before through Instagram, why do you put pineapple or fruit on your chicken and rice meals? The thing is, guys, fruit actually helps you absorb more of the carbohydrates that you're eating. Fructose. One of the extra benefits about pineapple specifically, hence why I utilize this at least for one of my meals per day, is it has a natural digestive enzyme inside of it. So that actually allows us to digest our food even better. And obviously, guys, if you're getting better digestion from the food that you're eating, it means that more of it's going to be absorbed and you're going to get much more out of it, right? And also, guys, if you haven't had rice and pineapple with chicken together before, you're honestly missing out, because it's an absolute banger of a combination. So mix that all in like that. And then obviously my chicken, guys, from earlier, as you saw, was already pre-prepared. So what I effectively do is, I forgot where I bloody put it. So that's my 400 grams of raw weight chicken. So I'm going to put roughly half of that in with this meal. You can see I'm making my life easy whilst I'm on the go here, guys. It's impossible to miss when you're organised and prepared for what the day has to offer. Because reality is, every day is a little bit different, isn't it, guys? You know, things come up, tasks come up that you didn't expect to be there when you woke up on the morning. So you've got to make sure you are prepared for everything that the day has to bring. So I'm going to mix that all in. Next thing I'm going to do from there is add my 1.5 grams of salt. As always, guys, 1.5 grams is weighed out. So I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. Give it a bit of a mix in as well. There we go, bang. Bang on the nail that was. And I'm going to add a bit of black pepper to this, because it definitely adds to the flavour. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. And then I'm going to mix that all in together again now. And then the final ingredient is about to go on. And now I know that some of you are going to be like, why on earth are you about to add that onto this meal? And a lot of you are probably going to think that I'm weird. But if you haven't tried this, don't knock it until you do. But what I'm going to add on top of there is reduced sugar and salt ketchup. It is absolutely banging when it comes to chicken and rice, guys, and pineapple. So I'm going to drizzle that over the top. Guys, off season, I don't waste sauces like this, but I don't use the heavily sugared sauces. So for example, this here, 10 calories per 15 grams. Next to nothing in that, but I keep it consistent. You know, I don't sometimes use it, sometimes not. It gets used, and that's part of the meal, right? So let's show you what this bad boy is looking like before we tuck into it. There we go. Chicken, rice, pineapple, green beans, easily digestible. I'll be ready to eat again in the next 2 hours. Bish, bash, bosh. Let's get it in. It is time for another meal. And again, guys, nice and easy, right? It is another chicken and rice meal. Honestly, guys, I see a lot of people overcomplicate their food sources when it comes to building muscle. As I always say, you can only grow from what you can digest. And we know that for the majority of the population, chicken, rice, and a bit of veggies, right, is typically going to digest very well for most people. And look, guys, it gives yourself leverage as well. As this meal gets bigger, as the off season progresses, as more food goes in, right, it protects that digestion at all costs. Probably sound like a broken record going on about digestion, but honestly, guys, it's literally one of the most important aspects. It really is. You got to look at it from this point of view, right? That the digestion is the way that your car, which is your body, takes on that fuel. And if your car can't take on fuel, it ain't gonna fucking go anywhere, right? So always keep that in mind. You know, I always like to give that car analogy with a lot of things with bodybuilding. You know, it's the same with like people running themselves into the ground. Like, it's very easy to get this die hard, sort of go hard or go home mentality when it comes to bodybuilding, and not giving yourself the adequate rest sometimes when the body is showing the signs that it needs it. And it's the same with like a car, right? If you weren't to get your MOT done, or you weren't to get your servicing done, it's only so long that that car can run before it's gonna pack up and fight back against you, right? Your body is very much the same. So the beautiful turmeric rice is coming back out to play. So I'm going to get this dashed all on top of the green beans. Another very busy bout of check-ins. And guys, in all honesty, this is just what my rest days look like. Like, my rest days I situate around my heavier check-in days of the week. So for example, Thursday being one of them, which is today, I get a lot of my check-ins done. It allows me to be very present within every single check-in and give the guys the right care and attention that they need to move forward with as much precision as I possibly can. So yeah, you know, I do some steps and stuff in between the meals, which I haven't been showing you today. But after every meal that I eat, on top of the morning expenditure that I've done this morning, I do 10 minutes of walking. So by the time I get to the end of the day and workload is quietening off, then my steps are near enough pretty much done. I can then focus on unwinding, relaxing for the evening before getting a nice restful night's sleep. So I'll get the rest of my chicken out. So for this meal specifically, we have got obviously the 200 grams of raw weight chicken, 75 grams of uncooked weight rice. Now, obviously, like I said, with the little food bump that came unexpectedly today, to make up the extra bit of rice that I'd normally have with this meal, which will be going up as of the next time I actually prepare my rest day food in advance, we're going to chuck an extra one of these. Now, guys, me just putting this in, it isn't just willy-nilly chucking extra food in, all right? It's the same amount of calories, the same amount of carbs, and the same macros for my total day, adding this in as what it would be with the extra rice. Okay, it's not just making an educated guess, it's being accurate with it. Because if I want to grow for this whole year without getting too soft, without getting too fat and having to pull back every 5 minutes, you've got to be smart. Eat to your needs, not to your appetite, is what I say to everyone. So, going to mix that all in with also some of this with this meal. So the next 2 meals, I will have some Polish sauerkraut. This is pickled fermented cabbage, okay? You're probably thinking, that sounds disgusting. Guys, this adds a lot of flavour to the meal, but even more importantly than that, fermented foods aid with digestion. When you're eating a lot of food compared to the normal person, we want to aid that process as much as we can. So instead of normal bread or bagels or something you saw that we have this morning, it was sourdough bread, fermented food. It allows the digestive tract to be much more healthy in terms of the atmosphere. And also, guys, this tastes amazing. I absolutely love it. Sauerkraut on this meal, and you'll see it on the next meal as well. I'm actually running too low on that. I go through a lot of sauerkraut, guys, I really do. Now with this meal for the sauces, I keep it consistent year round. So we're going to do Frenchie's yellow mustard. Love a bit of mustard. And reduced sugar, salt, ketchup. That all goes on. But before we do that, as you know, guys, the salt goes on the meal itself. So another 1.5 grams of that goes on here. And I know I haven't shown you much of it today, guys, but fluids, 5 litres consistently. That just gets sipped on throughout the day. There you go, salt goes on. Fluids, salt, sodium intake, all of that goes hand in hand to ensure that your body is processing the nutrients and sending them to where they need to go. These meals that I eat today, their whole purpose are to recover from my last 3 days of training and to prime myself ready to hit training tomorrow again. Your rest days are not a waste. Your rest days are very, very important, guys. Very important. They are what allow you to show up every single week, getting better, recovering from session to session so you can hit new numbers in your gym sessions, right? All very important things for the formula to actually grow. So I'm going to mix that all together there. Get the old sauces on. Like I say, sauces I just keep consistent year round. Bit of mustard as well. Beautiful. And let's show you the, I'll put the little rice cake on the side as well. Let's show you that finished product then. So there we have it, peeps. Well, if it focuses. Chicken, rice, green beans, bit of sauerkraut, rice cake on the side, job's a good one. And then guess what? It's going to be steps and then straight back to more work. Okay guys, so time to prepare and get meal 5 ready. So work day is pretty much done now. Very, very busy day of check-ins on a Thursday. The time now is 4:25. So I just prepared this meal. The air fryer takes about 20 minutes, get the beef cooked. I'll be eating that meal about 5 p.m. and then from there, guys, I literally just sort of switch off a little bit more. Reply to client messages and things that come through, but just have a little sit down. Sometimes I'll watch something, other times I might play, you know, a little bit of Xbox. Been playing a bit of Arc Raiders at the moment. If you guys know about Arc Raiders, what game that is. Took me a while to understand how to do everything, but I think I'm slowly getting there. I do think I'm slowly getting there. So yeah, meal 5 is about to go down. This is going to be 250 grams of raw weight beef mince, 5%. And I have that with 500 grams of raw weight potato. And I air fry that off with some extra veggies on the side in the other air fryer. So I'll do like peppers, onions, and a bit of mushroom with this meal as well. It makes a lovely meal. It really, really does. So I'm going to get bits and pieces prepared. This is probably one of the more satiating meals of the day. This is always my meal 5 across both training and rest days. The potato in this meal, like I say, things got bumped today, so there's extra 100 grams of potato in this meal for today, which I'm very excited about. Any extra food at the moment is always going to go down a treat for me, and I'm just super excited to see what happens throughout this phase. You know, I think some of the previous gaining phases in the past, I've made that mistake of probably just trying to push food a little bit too hard, too quickly, which has probably led to, you know, previous inflammation in the legs and the ankles with previous push-ups and that. So I'm very excited to take a slightly different approach this time and have a very long time frame. This is the thing, guys, you know, it's a case of making sure that our body stays responsive and you're not spending time going up, yo-yo dieting down, and then, you know, you want to have that nice consistent growth. Time is on my side. So like I say, I'm going to get this meal prepared. I will show you the finished product just before I eat it. And then we've got one meal left for the day, which I'll see is a little bit more bumped up than what it would normally be with the extra bit of food that's been put in. And also you've seen that the rice cakes and bits and pieces have been added today as well. So at the end of the day, I will show you the overall calories and macros on the screen, just so you can see it there. And I'll be sure to do a training day 1 in the near future as well. So I'm going to get my chef on. I'm going to get this meal prepared and I'll catch you when it's made. Oh peeps, look at that. There's the veg and there's the air fried potatoes there. I do both of these guys with smoked paprika. I just find it adds a lovely bit of extra flavour. And there we have the finished product, guys. Look at that in all its glory. Salt's gone on top, sauerkraut's gone on top, reduced sugar ketchup, as you already know, and then some mustard. So I'm going to dig into this now, a little bit of YouTube, final steps of the day. It's time to zone off, and then I'll catch you in the last meal. Well, that meal didn't even touch the sides. Deleted. Absolutely deleted. And guys, I'm probably still sat here, just as hungry as what I was going into that meal. And this is the reality. This is the reality, okay, of being still, in my opinion, early days into a gaining phase. This is now week 9. Your appetite should stay high. I see a lot of people go into a gaining phase, okay, and they try and chase the hunger away. Invite that hunger. It shows that your body is insulin sensitive, it's responsive, it wants to shuttle the nutrients to the muscle cells so you can perform and recover. You're not chasing yourself out of being hungry, but a lot of people associate that I'm now growing, I shouldn't feel hungry. This is not the case, guys. You need to eat to your needs, not to your appetite. Some people do have naturally a lower appetite. That's absolutely fine. Some people don't really have this. But for guys who are on the higher appetite side of things, like myself, that's something that you've got to deal with, right? Keep the body primed and sensitive, ready to grow. Fuel your sessions, fuel your recovery. Any extra on top of that, guys, is likely just going to be additional body fat. So you've got to get smart with it. Yes, then, people, catching you here for the last meal of the day. Meal 6 about to go down. So we have got 100 grams of oats in here, 100 grams of berries, 30 grams of whey, 15 grams of dark chocolate, sweet ground cinnamon on top. And then this is a creamy made with 340 ml of no sugar almond milk. And then another 20 grams of whey. Look at that. I'm really going to tuck into this. I would show you my face for this outro, but I'm not. Because I look like a clown that's fallen over and had a bad day. So you may have even noticed it in this video, little marks on my nose and my face. So being a bigger individual, you typically encounter some sleep apnea, which is where you stop breathing in your sleep effectively, just from the sheer weight closing down your airways, right? It happens to a lot of people. Some people just genetically get it. You know, it's a common thing that happens with guys when they get quite big. Recently just swapped to a new mask, and I'm wondering what is going on with my face. Am I wearing it too tight? Am I this? Am I that? And my missus come up with the perfect idea that you might be allergic to it. And then I actually think about the symptoms that I've got. I'm like, yeah, do you know what? That fully relates. I can actually feel like my face is burning. So I must be allergic to latex. So got some covers going on for that. Hopefully that improves the face situation. But it just means you can't see me for this outro, guys. I'm not showing my face on camera looking like that. Look like a mess. But anyway, guys, I'm going to enjoy this. This is the last meal of the day. I'll put the calories and macros up on the screen so you can see the daily totals. And thanks again for watching. So if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more training day, full days of eating, high day fulls of eating, cheat meals, if you want to see more around training, whatever you guys want to see, leave it in the comments below. And as always, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.